We begin with reports coming in that the Sons of Themyscira have violently crossed the border into Pokolistan while working at the behest of the rogue Amazonian and reputed sorceress Circe. Circe claims to be the rightful heir to the all-female island nation of Themyscira. Inside, sources claim that Circe has promised the Sons that once Pokolistan's downfall is achieved, she will lead them to conquer Themyscira. General Richard Flagg Sr. meets with Amanda Waller, founder and supervisor of the recently defunct Task Force X. Waller states that Pokolistan is a friend of the US, but when Flagg claims that countries don't have friends, Waller reveals that the government is working to secure the unmined petroleum deposits. Princess Ilana Rostovich, the heir apparent to Pokolistan, is already negotiating with the US for that oil. Waller worries that their negotiations will be for naught if the Sons of Themyscira suddenly overthrow her. Waller then takes Flagg to a secret division underground. Flagg thought that Congress already put a stop to all Task Force X activities since Waller's daughter outed her. Waller states that Congress technically said that Argus can't use incarcerated human beings as mission operatives. Still, it didn't mention anything about beings that aren't human. Waller takes Flagg to Belle Reeve's non-human internment division, claiming that only those at the uppermost level of security clearance have been aware of its existence for the last 50 years. By using these prisoners, she can arguably circumvent their new restrictions. Since they're technically not humans, they can use them as mission operatives, which Waller calls Task Force M, which stands for Monsters. The team includes the zombified subject of Dr. Frankenstein, the Bride, former scientist Dr. Phosphorus, who has potent radioactive powers, the animalistic metahuman and former Suicide Squad member, the Weasel, the military android who killed over 300 Nazis in World War II, G.I. Robot, and the amphibious scientist Nina Mazursky. Waller claims that Nina is the most reasonable of the bunch and might help Flagg get the others in line. As soon as the door opens, Bride, Dr. Phosphorus, and Weasel quickly pounce on them. Still, Waller quickly incapacitates them with a simple button on a remote connected to the collar on their necks. Waller informs Flagg that there is an osprey outside waiting to take them to Pokolistan so they can protect Rostovich from Circe and the Sons of Themyscira. As soon as they arrive, the princess's royal guards escort them back to the castle. Princess Ilana greets their guests and holds a banquet for them for coming all the way to protect her. Joining them is the indisposed queen of Pokolistan, who cannot speak and communicates only through Ilana. General Flagg is quickly smitten by Ilana's great looks and keeps her company while the others enjoy their stay at the castle. Flagg shares with her that she and his late wife had a son when they were 18. He claims he only joined the military to make enough money to support his child. Not long after, his son joined the military because of his love for his country and wanted to make it a better place. He later revealed that his son passed away 2 years ago during a mission. Ilana teases Flagg, claiming that he prefers older men and tells him she has something to show him. Ilana takes Flagg back to her room to see a 500-year-old armoire when she suddenly strips naked before him. Despite the sexual advances, Flagg runs away, claiming that they need to rest and prepare a plan for tomorrow. He explains that he will leave G.I. Robot to stand guard outside her room if anything happens. Later that night, while everyone settles down, Bride escapes. Nina saw her sneaking outside and followed, which surprised her that the guards didn't stop her. Nina claims the guards wouldn't stop them as they were sent to protect the princess. Bride then demanded the guard open the gates and cough up some cash. Nina tries to stop her from leaving, but she already called for a cab, so she is forced to accompany her. Dr. Phosphorus sneaks into Flagg's room in search of the remote to their collars, but before he can escape, Flagg wakes up and a battle ensues. Their fighting caused the wooden floor to collapse, and they fell into the kitchen. Flag eventually reaches for the remote, but Ilana walks in on them when he is about to use it. He explains that Waller did not give him the only remote and suspects that he'd no sooner be dead in his grave if he ever escaped. Meanwhile, Bride and Nina arrive at an abandoned mansion, which she claims is where she was born. Little did they know that a woman from a nearby house saw them walk inside and made a call to Frankenstein, who was on a yacht. Frankenstein suspects that his bride must have returned, to which he is exceptionally glad. Frankenstein forces his creator, Victor, into creating him a bride, and he asks a local mortician to secure him human body parts that he could use. When Victor starts to question what they are about to do, Frankenstein demands that he create him a wife so he can love. Victor explains that he made him to explore the infinitesimal space that falls between life and death. He claims he has not yet learned enough from him to justify doing it again. Frankenstein argues that, unlike Victor, he does not have a wife and threatens to harm her if he does not agree to his demands. In the present, Ilana helps Flag clean up after his brawl with Dr. Phosphorus. She notices he is holding onto a device, to which Flag explains that pressing a button will send an unbearable, painful jolt directly into their brains. She claims it is cruel, but Flag explains that it helps them become extraordinarily obedient to his orders. Seeing his scarred body, she suspects that this must not be the first time he is in battle. Once she has patched up all his wounds, Ilana runs her fingers all over his body. He tries to stop her, but she insists, which he later can't resist anymore, so he gives in to her. They quickly made love in the bathroom while the others listened through the door as Ilana moaned through the whole thing. Alexei, the head of the Royal Guards, walks in looking for General Flag. Dr. Phosphorus stops him, claiming they should give Flag a minute to finish up. Alexei states he needs to inform Flag that 2 of their teammates have left the castle. Walking through its empty halls, Bride is reminded of a painful past. Nina follows her to a tower where Bride explains where she was made, which flashes back to when Victor and Frankenstein worked together. When Frankenstein tries to approach her, Victor stops him and claims she needs to gather her senses first. He explains that when a baby is born, she's known her mother's womb, and therefore her mother intimately, for 9 months. The womb is once tethered to the universe, to the fragile social system of humanity. Victor explains that his bride came from nothing to something in an instant, and she has no tether and doesn't know where she is or who they are. She is but a cluster of fear and not knowing. Although Victor manages to calm her down, she quickly gets agitated when she sees Frankenstein's grotesque face. Nina feels terrible for her when she learns of Bride's experience. Bride tears the place up, searching for a tourmaline necklace. She remembers when Victor was helping her learn simple words. Frankenstein grows impatient, but Victor claims this is important, claiming he'd want a wife who can talk. Frankenstein argues that words only get in the way of truth, drowning out the caterwaul of one's heart. Outside, a member of the Sons of Themyscira follows Bride and Nina back to Frankenstein's mansion and reports back to Circe. Back then, Bride was so scared of Frankenstein that he tried to force his way with her. When it doesn't work, Frankenstein turns his frustration on Victor, claiming that he has failed to make him a wife, having nearly choked him to death. Remembering the past brings tears to Bride when Nina suddenly finds the necklace she was looking for. Back then, Victor kept working on Bride, and she eventually could speak in straight sentences. Seeing her progress, Victor gives her a present that holds the necklace he once showed her. He explains that he noticed how much she liked it, which he happened to find in one of the corpses. When Bride is lost in her thoughts, Circe suddenly appears outside the window and attacks them. Back at the castle, Flag is furious at Dr. Phosphorus for not telling him immediately that Bride and Nina left. Dr. Phosphorus explains that he only wanted to do him a favor by letting him finish. Flag asks Alexei to drive them to where Bride and Nina's trackers are pointing to. Meanwhile, Cersei circles the mansion, attacking them from the outside while the sons of Themyscira sneak inside. When they try to shoot them, Bride kicks furniture at them and breaks the flooring to escape to the second level. When armed men corner them, Bride breaks a vault door and uses it as a shield. When it came to hand-to-hand combat, Bride skillfully beats them all down. When Cersei bombards the mansion with her powers, Bride jumps outside with Nina to the unsuspecting sons of Themyscira waiting outside. She manages to steal a weapon and guns them all down. When Cersei catches up to them, Bride shoots at her, but she easily blocks it with magic. Cersei then uses her magic to attack them, but Bride retaliates by throwing a vehicle at her. When Cersei slices the car in half, Bride jumps at her and punches her through the walls. Cersei breaks free from her grip and attacks her, teleporting all over the place with magic. When Cersei is on top of her, Bride remembers when Victor made love to her on the operating table. Little did they know that Frankenstein returns and sees them doing the deed. When Cersei pins her down and is about to finish her off, Bride stabs her leg with a shattered glass she picked up. Bride turns the tables on Cersei and pummels her to the ground. Cersei grabs her hands and uses magic to turn them into inflatables, which surprises her. Bride tries fighting back, but can't do anything with balloons for arms. Cersei beats her up and headbutts her to a corner, which she pushes off the roof. Meanwhile, Nina calls for backup, but when she comes over a cliff, she runs into members of the Sons of Themyscira, who chase and shoot at her. She returns to the mansion just as Bride was falling to the ground. The enemy catches up to Nina and shoots the glass bubble she has on her head, which she falls over while Bride falls to the ground just beside her. While Bride painfully breathes in, she is reminded of when she returns to find Victor has been killed by Frankenstein, much to her shock. Frankenstein states that he had to do it, claiming that Victor was only an obstacle to their love. She is horrified to see Victor pinned to the table, and she kicks Frankenstein away. In a fit of rage, she tried to strangle him, but Frankenstein turned the tables on her. When he tries to choke her, Bride kicks him, to which Frankenstein catches fire. She then runs away as the mansion burns down. Since then, she has tried to make her own life, but Frankenstein keeps finding her and tries to force his way into her life. Since then, she and Frankenstein have crossed paths multiple times, and they have always fought against each other, with one trying to get away while the other tries to get back together. Bride apologizes to Nina when a thug knocks her out with the back of a rifle. Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos and make sure to subscribe and tap the bell to be notified about our latest videos. See you next time.